What is up, family? Spektrades back here with another video. Today's video is about my all-time favorite model, the Power of 3. It's a consistent model that I trade every single week. I even used it today with the live trading team to catch the beautiful trade that I'm going to explain at the end of this video. So make sure you stay tuned and take note. If you're a person that still has a problem with the Power of 3, I'm going to fully break it down and walk you step by step. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Let's get into this advanced Power of 3 strategy. First phase we have is our accumulation phase, where price consolidates around liquidity, beating liquidity either during the Asian session or prior session opens to balance price. The second phase we have is our manipulation phase. This is the false move or the liquidity raid outside of the range. This is often near the kill zone times. Then for the third move is our distribution move. This is the real intended directional move. This is where price give us a displacement, then give us a correction move. This is where we get our entry, and then we get that follow through for price to distribute higher. We always anchor to time, right? It's always time and then price. So we use the New York and London kill zone. The London kill zone is best for the manipulations, and then the New York kill zone is where we get our distribution move. We confirm with the liquidity wrap, either of old highs or of old lows being swept. Then we use our fair value gaps or our order blocks inside of the distribution leg for the precision entry. As you can see right here, let's go over this schematic. First, we have our accumulation. Like I stated, this is the first phase. Price will build liquidity inside of this consolidation range. There's a couple ways the consolidation range may look like. It'll never look this perfect, right? Sometimes it does look this perfect, like today it looked this perfect, right? But sometimes we're gonna get a sideways consolidation pattern, as long as price is like in this tight range and is building orders. It may be sideways, or it may just be right, just like this right here, just a regular consolidation phase. So first, price give us this accumulation during the Asian session. That's why this is time in price. Then, like I stated, during the London session is where it's best for the manipulation. This is where now price will either push down lower to manipulate the lows, but then to distribute during the New York kill zone, or right, if this is like a sell model, right, price will manipulate higher to then distribute lower to continue this sell pattern. Right, it all depends on the higher time frame trend. That's why we always do a top-down analysis to understand where is the next likely pool of liquidity to go. Right, we only use the Power of 3 as like a model, right, that we use once we figure out the higher time frame draw on liquidity. So pretend that this was like a 4-hour fair value gap, right? This is a 4-hour fair value gap. You can see that price wants to pull inside of this level right here, but on the lower time frames, on the 15 minutes, we see that the Asian session is accumulating right here. So we know that we have a clear pool of liquidity up here, but right now price is accumulating. Then during the London session, price is manipulating. So now during the New York session, what are we looking for? We're looking for price to distribute higher to go where? This 4-hour zone right here, because the fair value gaps are like magnets, either fair value gaps or prior higher time frame zones. Those are like the draw on liquidities that we look for. Let's go over this quick execution plan. First, we have to identify our range, right? Mainly the dealing range. So where are we looking at, right? So first we have to identify, is this really a consolidation range? Is price really building orders here? Is liquidity actually hiding above and below this range? Do we have a draw on liquidity up here on the higher time frames? Did we build a top-down analysis? Right, that's all it is. We have to build a bias first before we actually go to the second phase. That's the manipulation phase. Now, after we figure out we have our draw on liquidity, we see price building this zone right here, this consolidation zone. Then we're looking for this manipulation. We want to see price pull back higher, but first price has to push lower to manipulate traders into thinking that it's selling first. So all the sellers, early sellers, they're gonna get punished first, to then for price to reverse higher to come attack this prior point of liquidity up here. That's where we trade the distribution with our clear targets, targeting the next pool of liquidity or higher time frame levels. Price will always pull to a higher time frame level. It's an algorithm. It always does what is repeatable, right? So it always pull out to like higher time frame fair value gaps or rejection blocks, any point of higher time frames that are reversal zones, such as fair value gaps or like rejection blocks, or like bearish engulfing order blocks. Those are all reversal points that price can tap into and then reverse higher. But this is just the strategy in the exact model. Make sure you guys take notes of this. It looks simple, But I'm telling you, if you put this into action and go on your charts and backtest this, you're gonna see this happen every single week. You're gonna be able to pass your funded accounts and possibly get a payout using this exact strategy. Let's hop on the charts and go over this trade right. And now on our charts, as you can see right here, this is the after, right, of the trade. But this was the before, right? This was the before screenshots when price first tapped inside of the higher time frame zone. I always take a screenshot of my trades, right? Like with the live trading team. And like one thing that I did for this trade right here, I actually took the risk entry. Right, let me zoom in right here for this one. I always talk about my risk entry and my confirmation entry. For this trade, it was the risk entry, right? And then I had scaled in with like 10 micros, and then it was 30 micros to rally to this prior high right here. I took my profits early to this prior high. I didn't really let it run to this prior Asian high, but at the Asian high was the final take profit, as you can see right here. One of the final take profits out here. This one, perfect. Price cleared this one, and then the Asian high right here. I was mainly targeting this high right here, but I realized this was like a higher time frame rejection block, so I was like, man, this is not gonna work out. So I'm gonna close these out, but I'm gonna go over the trade, right? I'm gonna go over it like fully, right? All the setups and how you like could have taken the trade. So I'm gonna go over how I taken it, right? The risk entry, and then I'm gonna go over the confirmation entry and then the super confirmation entry. Let's go in for this trade right here, man. Like, so make sure you take soon, and just, I took this trade earlier, right? So this was a live trade with the team from 8 a.m. right? That's when we start. We started the live around like 9. We started at 9 till 11:30, but I go on the charts. I do my top down analysis at 8 a.m. just so I can see that early morning price action. So let's scale up to the 4 hour, right? I always, just like I stated, I do a top down analysis to see where did price come from, so I can figure out where is price going. Right, that's the first thing you have to keep in mind. Where did price come from, so we can figure out where you can go. If you don't know where you came from, you can't figure out where you're going. So first, where did price come from? Right, we see that we had this big rally on Friday. I caught a trade right here too. I got a video coming up for you guys too for this one. This is gonna be a news release day trade. If anybody needed to know about the news, I caught this one on Friday. Make sure you stay tuned for that one. It's gonna be a good video. I've never released like a news, like how to trade news or something like that video yet, so that was gonna be a good one. So as you can see right here, this is where price came from. Price pushed down lower, give us this manipulation, and then on the lower time frames, right, we had a 1 hour fair value gap right here. This where the trade happened. Price pulled back right here, mitigate this 1 hour fair value gap during the 9:30 to then extend low, extend higher, and give us this big push up, this big rally up here. Right, this was the expansion on Friday. Price, like, so this is like a new dealing range. Always keep this in mind when price give us zones like this. The new low to this high right here is where the new leg is happening at. All we're looking for is just a continuation type of move. If you watch my previous video, right, I always say the pullback, right? This is kind of like the first market structure type of model, the correction model, right, where price give us an impulse, corrects, right, and then continues. Right, if you guys remember that one, impulse, correction, continues. So make sure you guys watch the previous video, because all of them builds on top of each other. If you master one of them, like one concept, all of it builds, and you're gonna see it over and over again. So for this one right here, it was mainly a 4 hour zone right here. One of my students kind of missed this one. I went over it in my in the VIP exactly how to take this trade, because I did a deeper analysis on this one. Because it was way more. So, but in the VIP, I explained to her exactly why. But we use this 4 hour zone right here, and then this 1 hour, right? So we can minimize it inside of this too. But just the zone in itself, we're just looking for price to tap inside of the zone. For me personally, because I had liked this so much, I had liked the higher time frame a lot. I had already placed my trade like right here. I placed 1 micro. Right here on the higher time frame. Even though it was a big zone, I had placed 1 micro just to test it, just in case price tap inside of it. And then on the lower time frame, I'm looking for a push. The main reason was this right here. Let's go on the 5 minutes. So the first thing, like I stated, is the accumulation, right? Let's go over the power of 3 right quick, right? Let's bring the power of 3 into play. We just had to figure out the higher time frame zones. First, we had this broken zone right here. This was our dealing range from Friday. Price purged to this zone, purge to this old order block, this 4 hour order block. This 4 hour order block was supposed to hold to push price lower, right? This was supposed to be a resistance point. Tap into it to push price lower. But once price break it, now it's a support level. So when price push down lower into it, I'm looking for price to manipulate inside of this, right? That's all I'm looking for, is a manipulation inside of this right here. Like I stated, we're trading the power of 3. The first thing we're looking for is the accumulation phase. The Asian session is mainly where we get the accumulation range. We see price build this accumulation range with liquidity highs below and above the Asian session. The London session is where we get our manipulation. We see price starts crawling lower during the London session. What is that indicating to a lot of traders, especially since we're already in this small downtrend? Oh, we're selling now. We're selling lower. We're dropping now. But what is price actually doing? Price is just dropping lower to manipulate inside of this zone right here to find a support level. He's dropping to seek a support level. So what is the higher time frame support level? This one right here. So once price tap inside of here, this is where I'm going to get my support. As you can see, during the opening session, this is another consolidation building area. Like I was saying, we either get our consolidation during the Asian session and during the opening session. We always either get like a 9:30 sweep or like a 10 a.m. News reversal, as you can see. But for this case right here, let's go into 3 minutes. Price was building this liquidity during the New York Open. So price built liquidity, and then what did it do? It manipulated lower inside of my 1 hour/4 hour zone. So I had already entered here. This is my risk entry. Perfect. This is the manipulation entry. To me, this is like the advancing. A lot of new traders, right, that have fear and that haven't like been through it yet, right? This one entry like may scare you because like the stop loss kind of big. But we get our second entry, which is our confirmation entry. This right here is our return to order block, right? Our RTO. Let's go down to the 1 minute time frame. This right here is where we get our change in state in delivery. This is where price now breaks through a prior intraday range high or just prior candlesticks. Like it just depends on how it goes. But this one right here is like a 15 seconds. Whenever you see a wick or just price breaks to a body candle like this right here, perfect, right? This right here is our change in state in delivery, right? Price pushed down lower, went higher and broke through this candle. So this prior low right here is a respected strong low. So this zone right here could be your second entry zone if you miss this one, right? So, but your stop loss at the same exact area, right? Or right below it in this 50%, because price breaks through this right here. You could either invalidate this trade or just walk it off, right? But you bring just a smaller stop loss. But to me, the best entry, right, that a lot of people should wait for is the super confirmation entry. This is where I was able to scale in right here. Let me scale up to the 3 minute time frames. The super confirmation entry is where now we wait, because we have to wait for a new trading leg to be built. Price came down here. This is our confirmation entry down here where I'm attacking this prior high, but I have to validate this trade. But for me to validate this trade, I need a intraday range high to be broken, either on the 5 minutes or the 3 minutes. So as you can see, what is the high that did that liquidity sweep? It was this prior high right here. Perfect. Now we get this prior high broken. The only thing I'm looking for is just a prior zone. Let's go on the 5 minutes. On the 5 minutes, we see that price left this fair value gap. Perfect. The prior, like the most recent point is what you're looking for, right? You don't want to get greedy and want to grab this right here. You want price to come all the way down here now to reverse all the way back. If it pushes down all the way lower here, it's going to invalidate this trade and just keep dropping lower. So all you're looking for is for that recent zone. So it's either going to be a 5 minute, right, scale back up on the 5 minutes, or scale down on the 3, or go on to 1 minute, right? But after you get that intraday range break, you're going to look for that recent zone. This is going to be the super confirmation entry. This is where I was able to scale in heavy right here, because now the trade is fully confirmed, right? There's nothing to be afraid of it now. Now let's scale up to the 5 minutes. But this one right here, you could just place your stop loss right at the prior low. You don't even got to worry about it really. For me personally, since this trade already hold me down, I kind of just like free ball this trade just in case. Like I'm watching it. I'll say I'm kind of just like watching it and just let it play. And then I'm attacking the same prior high. I'm just gonna replay this in a way just so you can see it, right? So first, like I stated, we're gonna have our manipulation. Price manipulated inside of this higher time frame zone right here. Perfect. Now I'm looking for my distribution, the final move. So we have our accumulation, manipulation. Now on the 1 minute, push down lower, we have our perfect right here. Return to RTO entry. Perfect. Now I'm looking for my super confirmation entry. I want that prior swing high broken. That prior swing high that did a liquidity sweep, because that's where the range is at. Right? We have this high and this high. Everything in here is internal range liquidity. So when price breaks through this, breaking a retest to just extend higher, you're gonna see it. Price breaks through it, let it play out. Now we ran through it. Now we got that displacement on the 5 minutes. You scale back up to the 3 or the 5 minutes. You have to be a active trader, right? Price is fractal. What you see on the 5 minutes is kind of like it's gonna be way more price action on the lower time frame. So you just have to zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, right? Never just like get stuck on one time frame. That's where it's like you're gonna not miss the bigger picture, if that makes sense. If somebody ever told you you missed the bigger picture, that just means you didn't zoom out big enough just to see the overall view of what was going on. So on the 5 minutes, if we have this fair value gap right here, right, I just want to see price pull back, mitigate this to just extend it higher, come back, boom. Where am I targeting? This Asian high. This is my pool of liquidity right here. I know that price want to pull up here. So opening coming here, right? Like look how beautiful today was. Today was just one of the most like bread and butter, beautiful type of day. I came in, we seen this accumulation. I know my higher time frame drawing liquidity. I know price was gonna bounce from this right here. We already had our trading leg. Price pushed down lower. Price accumulated, manipulation lower, build this small lower time frame accumulation to give me my 930 manipulation sweep, get that risk entry, pull back, super confirmation, extension, prior high liquidity point. Bread and butter. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this video right here. Make sure you take notes and backtest this strategy and go on your charts and see this for yourself. This happens every single week. So master the power of 3. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think. This is it. Spektrades out.